Welcome back to Sailing Extreme and episode 4 of our Channel Islands adventure. In the previous episode, we sailed to Jersey and spent 4 nights in St Helier Marina, exploring the island while sheltering from some strong winds. In this episode, we continue our journey to 2 more islands. Morning. It is 5:45 and we've just left St Helier. The sun is rising and we are heading to Herm. We've got the sails up and it looks like it's going to be a beat upwind, but I think there's about 7 to 15 knots. We might have a little bit of wind against tide at some point, so it might be a little bit choppy, but we'll see how it goes. Good morning from Jersey. Shortly after leaving Jersey, the wind began to build, so we put a reef in the headsail. It wasn't long before the wind over tide conditions became very noticeable, with some impressive swell to the southwest of the island. The cameras were safely stowed away. Fortunately, as we approached Herm, the sea state settled considerably. We arrived on a falling tide and initially considered anchoring in Shell Bay on the island's east coast. However, with the easterly wind still blowing, it looked a little too rolly for a comfortable stay. Instead, we made our way around to the sheltered anchorage near Rosaire Steps, where we planned to wait for the tide to rise again before moving into the harbour. As we were only planning a short stay, we decided to pick up a vacant mooring buoy, which we later checked with the harbour master. Of course, not every mooring goes to plan, and good communication is everything. Unfortunately, Luke hadn't realised I'd already hooked the mooring strop and reversed away, preparing for another attempt. I was left holding the strop on the end of the boat hook with no way to free it, and eventually had no choice but to let go. Keep going forward. Despite the initial frustration, Luke skillfully manoeuvred the boat against the fast-ebbing tide while we retrieved the boat hook and tried again. It isn't always plain sailing, but we got there in the end. Once safely moored, we head ashore to sign in at the harbour office before watching the tide race away from Herm, revealing rocky outcrops and vast stretches of golden sand. We took a look around the harbour at low tide to familiarise ourselves with the entrance and moorings before taking a leisurely walk around this beautiful little island. Hello. You enjoying Herm?
Feel trapped.
Welcome to Herm Harbour. We've been on our mooring maybe about an hour. We're on a rising tide, there's about an hour to go until high tide. One other boat in here with us, and we've just had an almighty squall come through. Everything is now soaked because we just had a massive downpour, but it does look as though the sun might be about to come back out. So we've already been ashore once. We moored up just around the corner waiting for the water to come up. So we've been ashore, walked around the island, and we'll probably just wait for the sun to come out and then maybe go ashore again, have a drink in one of the local pubs, and then it will be dinner on board this evening. We're just keeping an eye on the weather forecast for tomorrow, but we may well do a hop from here to Alderney, but we'll just have a look and see what the wind forecast is looking like and the tides from here to Alderney. But hopefully, fingers crossed, in about 10-15 minutes time I think we'll be back in sunshine, and looks like it'll be a nice evening here in Herm Harbour. Good morning. We've just had a peaceful night in Herm Harbour, and we're just motoring our way out from Herm Harbour. We're weaving our way through rocks. Yesterday at low tide this whole area was completely surrounded by rocks, but they're all now covered by water at high tide. The plan today is to sail to Alderney. The wind's gone a little bit more west, and hopefully the next few days it's going to be southwesterly, so it should be a bit more sheltered for us to explore Alderney for a few days. And we'll hopefully, it's a bit overcast this morning, but should be in Alderney by 9 AM this morning, and yeah, should, fingers crossed, to be about a 2-hour sail. We've got plenty of tide that should be taking us up there, and then the plan is to arrive around 9ish when we've got slack tide into Bray Harbour, and from what we can see there's plenty of mooring buoys to pick up there, and we can then stay in the harbour overnight for a few days. The Swinge is a narrow channel to the west of Alderney, notorious for its powerful tidal streams. We timed our arrival for slack water, and thankfully the conditions were calm.
going through the swinge. However, the wind just died off to 2 knots.
You want the yellow one?
Huh?
We motored the final stretch into Bray Harbour, lowered the mainsail and picked up one of the many visitor mooring buoys, this time without any drama. We avoided the rain while sailing over, and at the moment it looks fairly bright, but there is rain forecast over the next couple of days, so the cockpit tent has been deployed and it's nice and cosy in here now.
Yeah,
Out
very
of
nice.
wind. Yeah, we can leave this up for a couple of days and then we've got an extra bit of space somewhere that we can keep stuff dry. And it's looking pretty good actually. We had it reconditioned, so it's not bad for, well, I guess it was original with the 20 odd year old cockpit tent, so yeah, not in bad condition really. Outboard deployed for the first time. Just motoring in. Looks like I might have to go to the end of the slip and take it up. With Alderney being the 5th and final Channel island we had time to visit, we spent the next few days exploring on foot. At low tide, we crossed the causeway to Fort Clonk. Originally built in 1855 to accommodate around 50 soldiers, the fort is now managed by the Landmark Trust as a unique holiday accommodation. There's no shortage of forts, batteries and bunkers to discover, many dating back to the Victorian era and later strengthened during the German occupation in Second World War. Is the rest of the army behind you?
No.
Following the flag.
Oh, we can go in, Becky.
Yeah, you can get up there. Yeah, the lights are on.
There's three on Jersey, which we saw two of them. And Guernsey has three, which I think we saw two, I think.
Found Alderney's best spot for hide and seek. Under these hills there is a labyrinth of tunnels and little lookout spots, bunkers, and they're all connected all across the peninsula. And I've just lost Luke for a few minutes as he's been wandering in one direction and I've wandered the other.
Like hide and seek.
It's great spot for hide and seek.
Yep.
Alongside its fascinating history, Alderney boasts spectacular beaches, dramatic coastline, and an incredible variety of wildlife. One of the highlights was seeing Les Étacs, home to a breathtaking colony of northern gannets. After a few days on the island, you begin to appreciate the rhythm of life here. As an island community, they are dependent on the arrival of the freight ship for supplies. When the ship arrives, the shops close to restock. Once back open, if you purchase provisions with cash, you might receive one of their Bailiwick pound notes as change. We also witness the fierce tidal races that surround the island. Morning, it's been a bit windy here in Alderney overnight and it's still windy this morning, so we're just waiting on the water taxi because it's going to be a little bit challenging getting ashore in this wind in our tender. So there is a water taxi that goes back and forth and you can just call them on the mobile or VHF. So they're coming out to get us shortly and we go ashore. Yesterday we dropped into the chandlery and there's a really nice guy in there who offered to take our freezer packs home and refreeze them for us, because we don't have a fridge on board. We're just reliant on freezer packs and our cool box. So we're going to go and collect those from him, have a quick shower and re-provision, and then we'll go off and explore another part of the island. So we're here for another couple of days and we've still got plenty that we can see and do here. Just wait for this wind to die down and then we can have a look at the forecast for crossing the channel back home again. But it looks like the water taxi is on his way. Join us next time as our Channel Islands adventure comes to an end and we make the crossing back across the English Channel towards home.